Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today we have another transfer rumour to talk about. Yep, they keep coming. Every name under the sun. It's like a big tombola. Who's next? But today, we're going to talk about the realistic possibility of Celtic signing a current Premier League winger. But alongside that, we've also got some bad news on the injury front, as we have an update on the fitness status of Reo Hatate. So, let's talk about all of that today. You lot are smashing it, by the way. Every time I say we're close, we're getting closer to the big 40,000. I check the subscriber update and it flies. So we're nearly there. I think we're roughly around 400 away now from 40,000. So please, if you haven't already, go down below, hit like, hit subscribe. It's absolutely free. It only takes you a wee second and it would be much appreciated. But thank you all so much. Right, no funny business. Let's just get right into things, because sadly we've got some bad news to start off today's video, and it's a fitness update on Reo Hatate, who was obviously taken off from the Aberdeen game on Sunday after suffering an injury through the game, and it's been confirmed that he will now be out for the next few weeks and potentially up to a month with the injury that caused him to come off in that said game. Yep, it's been confirmed by Stephen McGowan this morning in the Daily Mail that Reo Hatate will be out for up to 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, with a grade 2 tear in his calf. Of course, we've seen him go down, we've seen him hold the calf. People speculated in my comments section, oh, maybe he's at it, maybe he couldn't be bothered. No, he did. He tore his calf. He won't be available for the next 4 weeks, which is a massive blow to Celtic. Of course, this means that Reo Hatate will miss the next 2 games, that being Kilmarnock in the League Cup this weekend, and then the following weekend at Celtic Park against St Johnstone in the league clash. But more importantly, it might mean that he is out for the Derby game on September 3rd. Yes, of course, if it's a month-long injury, if he is out for as long as that, then he'll probably be a major doubt. He probably won't be involved to any extent in that first Derby game of the season, which is a big blow for us. Not going to lie, pretty gutted about that. You want to have your best players available, your best players fit, but there's a massive chance now that he won't be fit for that game. I'm going to take a wild assumption at this point and guess that we probably won't see Reo Hatate back until after the international break. Of course, after that Rangers game, it will be international time. We've got a couple of weeks there which could be used for him to recover and such. But I think that we'll probably not see Reo Hatate come back till after then. Of course, we wait to see what Brendan Rodgers says. There will be a press conference at some point over the next few days before that Kilmarnock game, where he'll probably give us an injury update on Reo Hatate and hopefully Cameron Carter-Vickers as well. But yeah, I have a feeling that will be the last we see of a Hatate through the month of August anyway, and probably until late September after the international games. Obviously, it now kind of solves the headache for us of who starts in the middle of the park. I think David Turnbull will now be favourite to start the next couple of games, but we're lucky. You know, we've got someone like Odin Thiago Holm here now who is really impressing Celtic fans. Someone who has came off the bench now a couple of times and showed real class at such a young age. So this is a massive opportunity for guys like him as well to maybe break into the midfield and stake some claim when it comes to team selection. But ultimately, I hope that Reo Hatate's recovery goes smoothly as possible, and hopefully it'll go quite quick, because it would be nice to have him back for that Derby game, but let's be real, it's probably not going to be wise for Celtic to rush anybody back after tearing a muscle. I've pretty much accepted the fact we won't see him for quite a while. And finally, on the whole Reo Hatate discussion with his injury right now, I know a lot of people will probably bring up the fact, oh, will this, hamper any transfer plans? Will he be able to take medicals, all the rest of it? Listen, we don't quite know what's happening with Reo Hatate yet. We don't know if there's going to be a bid late on in this window from a team down south. This is going to be nothing that stops him from moving. He would be able to go and complete any moves, I think, fairly easily. But hopefully we're getting to the point now where there is only a couple weeks left. It's the 16th of August as we currently record. I hope that we manage to see him still here come the end of this window, but we'll keep an eye on it. Right, let's cheer it up a bit. Let's get a bit more positive, and let's talk about something that has been kind of brewing away the last couple of days, and it's quite exciting to look at, to be honest. Is it realistic? I don't know, but I mean, I should play the Celtic transfer talk intro here because it's time to talk about one of the newest and most exciting transfer rumours of the window so far. So yesterday evening, shortly after my video went live, a journalist down south, Tom Colamos, not quite sure how it's pronounced, sorry Tom, he put this up: with 2 weeks to go in the window, Wolves currently value Daniel Podence, who was not in the squad last night and left out of the pre-season stint in Portugal, at £12 million. Celtic are among the clubs following the situation. So that was put up earlier on in the evening, and then late on in the evening, Anthony Joseph of Sky Sports, he confirmed the interest when he put this up, saying Celtic are keen on Wolves right winger Daniel Podence. He has 1 year left in his contract and wasn't included in the squad last night. Wolves want around £12 million, but it's understood Celtic see room for negotiation if they make an approach. So there you go, that's pretty much the latest on the Daniel Podence stuff. I know a lot of people will be asking away about what I think will happen and is it realistic to happen. We're going to discuss all of that today, but some pretty exciting rumours. It's one name that I've seen kind of quietly make its way into the rumour mill over the last few days, and now it seems like there seems to be some legitimacy behind it. But with a value at £12 million, is it time we just rein in the kind of realism a little bit, ease our expectations? Or should there be space for Celtic fans to maybe dream a little bit here? Right, let me just start it off by saying I would be extremely surprised, but pleasantly surprised, if Celtic actually are interested here, will go and do something and try and make something happen. It's just got a lot of signs for me that doesn't really fit the transfer model at the club. But it's one that I tell you right now, I'm not against. If there's room to make it happen, then I would actively encourage Celtic to make it happen, because I think this is a signing that pretty unanimously Celtic fans would agree would show great ambition and mean business in replacing Jota anyway, and just generally moving forward as a football club. I think it would be a signing like we've never really made before, spending A, that much money, but B, just bringing in someone who is the level of Daniel Podence. I think it would be pretty nuts, but I am, keeping my expectations pretty low for this, because I don't think it's something Celtic will seriously pursue at that price. I just think when you realistically sit down for a minute and look at it, it doesn't really fit anything that Celtic do. Our highest transfer fee spent of all time was £9 million on Odsonne Edouard, who was 21 years old at the time. There was a lot of sell-on value and all the rest of it. Now, I couldn't really care less in this situation. I would love Celtic to go and make this happen if they could. I don't really care about the sell-on value, because I think if you signed a guy like this on a 4-year contract and you got the best out of him, then you're getting what you paid for anyway. I don't really care about the sell-on value after that, but when you look at it seriously, Celtic do, as a club, they don't really break the mould and go and sign players for huge fees that are maybe 27, 28 years of age. It would be very much against the grain, to be honest. However, that bit about room for just smack the microphone. That bit about room for negotiation, that really changes a lot of my thinking. Yeah, £12 million is what Wolves have him valued at. However, Celtic, in that quote from Anthony Joseph, would have to see room for negotiation. And I think that Wolves, there's been other reports saying Wolves would look at negotiation. If Celtic can maybe wangle that fee down to, £9-10 million, I don't think it's never seen, never stuff. Now, the one thing you've got to remember is this guy's reportedly on 60 grand a week at Wolves. Celtic would probably be tops going 40, 50 grand a week. So you're probably going to have to accept the fact you're taking a wage cut coming to Celtic. Then you take the benefit of Champions League football, yeah, but is it worth it when there's maybe other moves on the table? That's another discussion in itself. But the transfer fee, if they can get it down to maybe £9-10 million and make some of that add-ons rather than an initial fee, I don't think that it's completely out of the realms of possibility for Celtic to make happen. And when they realise the actual ability of the player that's there, This is a guy who comes up to Scotland and probably, I mean, I'm not going to lie when saying it, he probably comes up and automatically becomes best player in the country. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be reflected in what he does straight away. We've had this before a million times. Players coming up from the Premier League who we expect the world of, and they flop, they're rotten, they don't really fit to it, and it doesn't work out. That could easily happen, but on paper, this is a guy who would come up and probably automatically become the best player in the league, maybe alongside the likes of Kyogo or Callum McGregor. He's right up there. And that justifies the transfer fee that Wolves do expect. This is someone who should be valued higher, but with only a year left on his contract, what can they really expect? So Celtic have got advantages to play with here should they decide to negotiate, should they decide to go in for this. He has got a year left in his deal. Wales would rather make money than make nothing. He's not involved in the squad, so they should be willing to take a transfer fee. But he's a quality player, and I just think it would show a hell of a lot of ambition here at the club, put it that way. Currently 27 years of age. He'll be 28 in October. Yes, he is coming up to that 30 mark, but this is a footballer in his prime years. And you sign a 4 or 5 year deal at Celtic, that takes you to 32 years of age. You're probably getting the best 5 years of his career. You're probably getting his optimum performance at Celtic. And this is a guy who I remember years ago before he went to Wolves was one of the best youngsters in Europe, one of the ones that was spoke about really, really highly. He was someone who I think a lot of people knew of, and when he got that move to Wolves, I remember saying he'll be a good signing, he'll do well for Wolves, and he's done a decent job since signing. Once again, he's in that position where Wolves aren't the best team in the league. It's hard to chip in with the great goal contribution, but his statistics speak for itself outside goal contributions. His other key statistics in terms of dribbles, running, all the other work outside goals and assists, he's the real deal. He's a quality player. He's got the ability to come up here and absolutely run the league, and probably significantly improve us in terms of European football. So it is one to dream about, but he's got all the tools that we need to replace a guy like Jota. He's made just over 100 appearances for Wolves now in the Premier League. He's scored 16 goals and assisted 9 in his time at Wolves. Before that, he was, of course, at Sporting Lisbon before he got the move, where he assisted a further 12 goals there, but mostly deployed on the wings, mostly as a left winger, Portuguese, of course. 1 cap for the Portuguese national side as well. He is someone who I would be seriously interested in seeing coming to Celtic if possible. It's just about whether or not it is possible. I can't kind of really get that point through enough, can I? 6 goals last season in a very poor Wolves side. It was quite a decent return for him inside his 32 league appearances from the left wing. And you look at Wolves and you see how much they struggle to score goals. I think he's someone who needs to get away to a more attacking, a better attacking side. Now, obviously, Gary O'Neill's came in and things could change at Wolves, but it seems like he is outcasted. He's ready to go. So we'll see how Celtic follow the situation. I do think it's a bit pie in the sky, but who knows? With room for negotiation, I guess you can never say never. And that'll do it for today. Yes, we'll follow that situation as it unfurls. I really don't think it will go much further. We'll see if the clubs decide to have any initial talks and see if they can make anything happen, but yeah, it'll be an interesting one to say the least. Don't get your hopes up too high. And they're certainly not spending £12 million, maybe in another life, but not this one. Right, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.